Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very thankful episode. What's that sound? That's right, it's turkey time. It's almost Thanksgiving. Every year I try to do a little what would I bring to Thanksgiving dinner bourbon selection. So these are the top 5 bottles you should be bringing to Thanksgiving. For people that like bourbon and for people that may not be into it as much as you are. Okay, we're going to cover all that tonight. Not all these bottles are easy to get. I get that, so don't crucify me on this one, okay? But I got a few here that I hope will help you out. Sagamore Spirits Double Oak. Okay, full of flavor to help compete with that delicious turkey gravy, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce that you're going to be likely enjoying. Full of flavor. It's not super high proof. We're talking 96.6 proof, compute 48.3% alcohol by volume. So Grammy won't be stroking out. It's not too high proof for her. It's low proof enough you can mix it in cocktails. It's got full flavor to stand up to things. It's delicious and neat. For those that might be accustomed to bourbon, this is a rye, so we did cheat because this is 5 bourbons. Whatever, forgive me. About 50 to 60 doll hairs, depending on where you're located. So, not super budget, but not going to hurt the wallet too bad. And an excellent one to start with. That kicks our list. That's number 1. Number dose. Nothing says Thanksgiving like falling asleep on the couch after the meal. And why not help put yourself there with a high-proof Elijah Craig barrel proof? This one happens to be B523, which, worst one of the year. Spoiler alert. However, still delicious. Price on these bad boys, $69.99 a bottle. So again, not super cheap, but not ultra expensive, right? If someone mixes this, you might be a little upset, but excellent sipping whiskey, delicious. Holds up in a cocktail if you wanted. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could. Holds up in a cocktail, delicious. They come with 3 batches of these a year, so obviously maybe you didn't get all of them, but maybe you got one. They're not terribly hard to come by if you go all year, but this is a fine one to pick up. And the latest one, C923, is like one of the best ever. You can go in there and say, well, I brought a 13-year, 7-month bourbon to Thanksgiving. What'd you bring, Jim? Oh, Jim Beam, get out of here. You can show off with that age statement if you want. That's bottle number 2. Bottle number 3 is for you budget-conscious people that still want to bring something quite delicious. A little Benchmark full proof, full of flavor, full of heat, and priced right at about 25 doll hairs. 125 proof to really knock out the relatives you don't want to speak to anymore. Good for mixing, good for drinking neat. You can talk about how it's cheaper than Buffalo Trace, but better. Wow, you'll really be the star of the show. But all jokes aside, this is pretty available in most states where you can find it. May not be available in all states, so I do apologize, but it is a good budget option for Thanksgiving. Bottle number 4 is a last minute rush bottle, okay? You're like, crap, forgot to get something, you run to the liquor store and grab it. Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Now again, this is about 55 doll hairs, somewhere in there. This one happens to be a little $3.75, even cheaper. Like 25 doll hairs, or 26, you can get $3.75, there's nothing wrong with that. Most people have had Woodford Reserve at some point in their life, and why not upgrade them with a little bit of Double Oak, which adds flavor. This is probably the best thing Woodford makes, besides the batch proof, but that's hard to find and more expensive. So another great quintessential bottle for Thanksgiving. Good, delicious marshmallow, vanilla flavor. Can't go wrong with this. Now that brings us to the last bottle, right? And every year I've done this, I've included a bottle of Wild Turkey Rare Breed. But I felt compelled to say F you, Wild Turkey, for the crap you've been pulling this year with your limited releases. I mean, Wild Turkey Master Keep Voyage, utter disappointment and a ripoff at 300 doll hairs. Then Wild Turkey Generations, and even bigger, kicked to the nether regions for 450 doll hairs. for okay whiskey. So you know what, Wild Turkey, you're off the list this year because you screwed up. Now I hope you pull yourself out of the gutter for next year and come back to reality. But for that, you didn't make this year because you messed up. So instead you got replaced by arguably the one bottle you hated to be replaced by. None other than Blanton's The Horsey Grenade. You might say, Bourbon Bill, you don't even really like Blanton's. You hate on Blanton's all the time. I do. But can't be argued that it's one of the coolest looking bottles. It's got a little horsey on top. And the bourbon inside's mediocre at best. And for those that aren't really into bourbon, they're going to love it. They're going to be like, wow, this guy brought Blanton's to Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? He must be killing it working at McDonald's, you know? I mean, gosh. All jokes aside, Bland's is okay whiskey for its MSRP of $60 or $65 now. It's gone up in price. But, you know, don't overpay for this. But it is a cool bottle to spark conversation and bring to Thanksgiving. So that got our last coveted spot. So whatever you bring, enjoy it with friends and family this Thanksgiving. So if you like what you saw tonight, please like, comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button, everyone. Have a good Thanksgiving.